Okay.
Has this been recording the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just us. Okay. Guns, welcome to our guns show. I can't see them, but...
Oh my god.
We're doing great.
Oh god. All right.
Welcome to my coffee.
So,
Welcome to our TED Talk.
welcome to our TED Talk. No, I'm just joking.
Basically.
So, welcome to the very first episode of the Pole Art Vault Polecast. So, I'm your host, Chloe, the founder of Pole Art Vault as well. So, I'll be uploading content weekly, so make sure that you're tuned in every single week. So, for our very first special guest of the very first episode of the Polecast, we have here Miss Cheyenne. She is the owner of Just Pole Fitness in Smithfield. She is also the owner of Lux Styling, co-owner of Cheyenne x Tatiana polewear range under Tatiana Active. She is a cat lover, mental health advocate, and also a snack queen, and of course a pole instructor as well. Please welcome Cheyenne! How exciting!
I know, what a long intro.
Yeah, literally.
Do I have a life? Absolutely not. But I love what I do, so it's fine.
Yeah, thanks for coming all the way.
You're welcome.
Super exciting.
It's good to be
It's like
here.
a first episode as well.
I know.
So good to have
I
you.
know.
Yeah.
A little
So
bit nervous. We're gonna do great, sweetie.
yeah,
Fine.
literally. So tell me quickly, just briefly about yourself. So like you're obviously, you love your cats, you're a pole instructor, you also have 2 businesses, which is like really exciting.
Yeah.
I think more to come as well.
Yes, there is. I am working on another location for my studio. And yeah, there's not much else that I do. I'm a very, very busy person when it comes to work. But I think for me, it's more so just setting myself up now so that in the future I don't need to work as hard. But I'm lucky that my businesses don't really feel like work. Like I get to teach amazing people pole. I run a studio that is a second home for people. I get to dress people and make them feel like boss babes, and then creating my own polewear range with Tat. It just goes hand in hand. So
Yeah.
I think with the businesses, they all kind of cross over. So other than that, besides being at home with my cats, all 3 of them. I'm not a crazy cat lady.
Only 3.
Only 3.
Yeah, just 3.
But that's it. It's just a lot of work for now.
Right.
But
I love
what
that. So
yeah.
it's kind of like all your work is pretty much just around your passion. Yeah.
It's not work really. Like it is, but it isn't, you know. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm having to wake up early and go into a job every day. Every day it's going to be something different between the different businesses and working across them all and just meeting new people across those businesses and just like you, hi friends.
Yeah.
You just get to collab with so many different people. So it's never really work. It's meeting a lot of interesting people, and it's, you know, just fun every day. Some
Yeah.
stressful days, but most of all, it's fun.
For sure. I love that because like I feel like a lot of the pole dancers come from like such diverse backgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like just tell me briefly like what were you doing just before you started like pole, like what your occupation was?
What was I doing? It seems so long ago, but it actually wasn't. So I purchased Just Pole Fitness off the previous owner and grew it into what it is today, only 2 years ago now. So my 2-year anniversary is 14th of December.
Oh my god, that's
it's
so close.
coming up, I know, I'm so excited. So before that, I was a social content manager for Insurance Australia Group. So I had a social media background. We worked on different campaigns. We did heaps of different things, and that's kind of crossed over into what I do now. You obviously need to have a good social media presence across your platforms for it to do well, because everyone's social these days.
Yeah, very.
But yeah, before that I was teaching pole only. I also used to run Just Pole as the manager as well before I purchased it and took over, and then working full time as a social content manager. So that's pretty much it. Always busy, and then now busier with many different businesses.
Yeah,
so
would be.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So like what were you doing before that occupation? Like what was your upbringing like?
Oh, the upbringing.
We're getting deep.
I'm actually from Queensland. We moved here when I was 14 years old because my grandfather was ill. We needed to look after him. And then, I've been here ever since. My family has moved back to Queensland. I'm not as close with them. Besides my sister, we're quite close. But it was a very difficult upbringing, I would say. I haven't had your traditional family upbringing. I left home at 16, was homeless for a while. I had to leave school early, and then I got a job, and I'd worked at Insurance Australia Group from 17 years old onwards, selling insurance behind the counter before I got, my other roles. And left school, got my job, then was no longer sleeping on couches between houses. And then, now I'm here.
Oh, wow.
It is a big story, but I'm not very close with my family. It was just a very difficult upbringing, quite abusive, unfortunately. But I think it has helped shape me into, what I am today and who I am and what my values and beliefs are. But it's a very... What else do you want to know?
Yeah. Well, I think we did speak about this briefly before, and I feel like I kind of want to get to know maybe a bit more about how you were in terms of your mental health and stuff like that at the time when you were pretty much couch surfing and you were homeless. Yeah.
So
what were you feeling?
I find I'm a massive advocate for mental health. It wasn't long ago that my mother was diagnosed with schizoaffective, which is schizophrenia and bipolar. So it was only this year, but those behaviors were present all throughout our lives. But she was only diagnosed this year, and it's unfortunate that it's only been caught on this year because it would explain a lot growing up, those aggressive behaviors, those manic episodes up and down, the abuse that we had to go through as my siblings and myself. I think at 16, it was just a very down point for her. The abuse got too much, so I had to leave. At that point, I was just done. It's a big decision to make at 16 to leave home, but there's many people that have done it as well. But it was a little bit scary. You don't know what's going to happen, where you're going to be. I felt like you just got to push through it. So I wasn't really thinking on the emotional aspect of it all. It's just, this is just how it is. This is just life because it's all I've known. So there wasn't really a big emotional, experience then. It wasn't till later on that it came. So I found that when I left home, I just had to push through it. And then years later, when you don't deal with your trauma correctly, which is why I'm such a big advocate for mental health, when you don't deal with it, it comes up and resurfaces. So I went through a very long growth process. I had to go through my therapy sessions. I suffered my own severe depression and anxiety, really, really struggled to get out of that. And I'm very thankful that I'm still here today because it was very bad. But I did have a really good support network. At the time, they didn't know anything that was going on because I'm very private. I'm like, no one needs to deal with these problems. And people that do suffer with depression and anxiety do feel like a burden to others. So they most of the time won't speak about it. But when you get past that and you start being able to talk about it, in therapy or with friends, you can heal a lot better. You will feel more confident and comfortable with what you're going through, as scary as it is. Opening up to people makes a massive difference. Hence why I'm such a big advocate for it now and talking with people because it does make a difference. So during that time I was fine. It wasn't till later on where it kind of all resurfaced, all that trauma I had to go through. I was with, a partner that became addicted to different substances and gambling and all of that put together, and me trying to handle that, it became too much. So coming out of that, going through therapy that I needed, talking about it, I had to go on medications. So it was a very rough time in my life. But I am much stronger now for it. And I found that as horrible as that experience was, I needed to basically go through it to know how to handle it if I start to get stressed or overworked. Because before, it was more so just throw yourself into overworking, because when you're busy, you can't think of anything else. And a lot of people do this. But it's usually, essentially, it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people that go through traumatic experiences where they will work themselves so hard to not deal with, and it's subconscious, like you don't know that you're doing it, but to not deal with, you know, what you actually need to deal with. So now that I find by going through that, I can now for myself see, okay, I need to stop, I need to take a break. You know, this is, you know, too much on my plate at the moment, or I can now see it more so in others. So if I see, you know, for myself, students or friends where I'm like, I can feel something's off. I'll always politely ask them, just check in, you know, if they want to talk, they will. If they don't, you know, just having someone ask is a big deal to a lot of people, and just knowing that they've got someone there for them. So I think that's, you know, going through that, as traumatic as it was, has really had a positive impact in how I am today, how I handle things, how I interact with other people, and really pushing that mental health, you know, being an advocate for it. It's very important, guys.
I mean, it is.
Talk about it.
Totally. And as you said, it is a really, really important topic, but at the same time, it is one of those things that's like really hard to kind of express and talk about.
Absolutely.
Because I think some people feel like, you know, they feel shamed about, you know, coming out about it.
Yeah.
They don't want to look weak, or I don't know, maybe they're in a position in work or something where they're supposed to portray like a higher rank, or like, I don't know, like you're someone's boss or something, and you can't afford to like look weak or something.
Absolutely. I find that, yes, things are changing and people are more willing to talk about mental health, but there still is that stigma, more so in men. It's a bigger problem. You know, they need to be that tough men. You don't. Everyone goes through bad mental health. The more people talk about it, the more others will feel like they're okay to open up about it. But you're definitely right. For me, it was the same thing going through it. No one knew for months how bad it had gotten for myself until I had such a bad mental breakdown. And that lasted months. It was such a horrible time. And it wasn't until after all of that happened that I'm like, I need to talk about this. Because I didn't talk about this, it got to this point. So, it's super important that, yes, your mind does play tricks on you with depression and anxiety, that it makes you feel like you're a burden. You don't want to trouble other people. But at the end of the day, people would rather have a discussion with you about what's going on than attend a funeral. You know, if your mental health is going down that bad, it's more important to have those discussions. Rather, you're not going to feel like a burden. What's going to hurt more is not knowing what was going on with your friends and family, and, you know, then having to go down that path.
Oh my God, I just got the chills just listening to that. My gosh. So like, I just want to like rewind to like what you said before, like having all these like mental breakdowns and stuff. Like, when did that start, and like what triggered it?
So I think for myself, I was definitely overworked at the time. It's not that my boss at the time when I was working full-time was absolutely incredible. He was one of the people that really got me through everything. And by speaking to him, it really helped. He's very understanding. Shout out, Jerry. Thanks. I always will tell everyone he was just such a massive support. But what had happened, I was overworked, and my relationship, you know, I was putting in so much effort at the time, and to have this person slowly become someone completely different. He's definitely still such a beautiful person, but unfortunately those addictions that he was going through and his own demons was really negatively impacting me and what I was getting caught up in, you know, that I shouldn't have. And just dealing with that stress became way too much. So it just started to slowly go downhill. I didn't realize at the time though. It wasn't for me until it was too late that I'm like, oh shit. So it was just such a traumatic experience at the time, dealing with that, dealing with someone, you know, it's very tough. No one knew. Obviously, I didn't want other people to think differently of him. It was just, you know, too much. But that was the point of my breakdown. And then, you know, he had his own demons. When I finally actually admitted to him the first time that I'm not okay. And I was always the okay one. I was always the one that, you know, as females, we always tend to save situations. We become that motherly person. And it was the first time that I'd said, I'm not okay. And he got up and left and gambled for the rest of the night because he had that was his plans for the night. So I'd lost the one person. I'm like, you know, this person's going to be there for me. They weren't. And then it was obviously more downward spiral from there, because you're thinking, oh, well, I just finally opened up to someone that, you know, would be there for me. It was 6 years together at that point, would be there for me. And they just walk away. And they, you know, and you're just like, oh, well, what if other people do that? They don't want to hear what's going on. So it just got further and further downwards. And it wasn't until I'm like, no, this isn't me. This is a him problem. So I had to walk away from that, as hard as that was, and just go to where I had that support and love surrounding me, and finding those people that were my people, that were 110% there for me, and, you know, not about other things.
yeah, totally.
So yeah, that's where it all started, from just slowly downwards, and then obviously the relationship falling apart, finally being able to admit to someone I'm not okay, and them just taking off, and me just like, what just happened, having to deal with that. And then obviously when it got too much and I had, you know, such a severe mental breakdown, ending up in hospital, and then having to deal with the repercussions of that, then I'm like, it's time to actually talk. It's time to talk to people. Then the therapy and all of that sort of stuff came. So it was at that point. So it's been a few years now. I'm in a much better mental health state, obviously, and I'm a very, very big advocate for it, as I keep saying. But I am, guys, talk about mental health.
It is very important. Yeah, you do have to speak about it, or else, like, how are you going to express it? You know?
It gets bottled up. But it's it's one of the side effects with depression and anxiety. Your mind tricks you into feeling like you're going to be a burden. It's so frustrating, because we know these people care about us, but when you're having bad mental health days, or you're going through a bad mental health period, you and your mind is like, no, you're a problem. Don't talk to people. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to deal with this. So it's really hard to open up when you're in that mindset. It's just constantly reminding yourself, no, it's your mind being basically an arsehole to yourself. Talk to your friends, talk to a therapist, get the help that you need. If you need to go on medication, don't be ashamed about it. Sometimes people need that along with therapy. Don't just take medication and not do therapy. They go hand in hand. But once you start taking those steps, you know, you'll start healing eventually. It just takes time.
Oh gosh, that sounds like such a roller coaster. I can't even imagine like what you went through, and like
I can't imagine it now. If I look back, I'm like, wow, I actually went through that.
It's like, fuck, I took a lot of shit at the time.
Yeah, and it's been such a good long healing process, and having my support network that I just can't believe I went through that. If I had just spoken to my sister, my friends, my boss a little bit earlier, I wouldn't have had to go through that. But sometimes you don't realize until it's too late. But I think the experience has had such a positive outcome. Not at the time, it was horrible. No. But looking back, it's had such a positive outcome for myself, for my own mental health, and just working, with other people, because I was one of those people who I didn't understand bad mental health. I'm like, just get over it. Like, just I don't understand why you're holding on to it. Why are you sad? I don't get it. I never understood it. It sounds so ignorant of me, but I've always been one of those people who are like, whatever happens, happens. It's just life. But it's not until you go through something like that and I'm like, wait, this is depression. How do people cope with this? There's people who have severe depression and it just doesn't go away. Mine lasted, a year or so where it was very bad, but by going through that, I'm now so much more understanding. And then obviously going through the diagnosis with my mum, it's that, that makes sense. Those behaviors made sense. Those coping mechanisms made sense. So, and how other people are and my friends, like, it's understanding, I understand you because I've been through it. So it's not all negative, but it just doesn't have to get to that point, just talk. Just talk.
So, like, what would you say, like, if you have, like, one thing you want to tell people that have gone through or is going through, like, depression and anxiety, like, what would you say to them?
I think the first thing is, don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to talk to your friends as much as your mind does play tricks on you. I've been there. But getting help is the first step. Even just talking about it, you don't have to go to a typical psychiatrist. I went to a spiritual healer. Yes, I know.
Interesting.
Which for me, I was like, I wasn't really into that. But when I'd gone to different therapists and psychiatrists, there was a big block there and I couldn't speak to them. When I went to the spiritual healer, we had basically a therapy session. It's not all, smoke and crystals like a lot of people think. It's not about that. We spoke and it was the first time I was actually able to talk. So talk to people, go find your therapist, not any therapist just because they're recommended, because you need to find someone that you're actually able to breathe with, to talk with, because there's a lot of reserve when you're meeting someone to tell them, all your deepest, darkest secrets and feelings, basically. So you need to find your person. It took me a while to find my person. And once I did, I was actually able to start talking and feeling the emotions that I needed to feel. So find a therapist. And if you feel like you need to go on medication, don't be ashamed of that. There is such a negative stigma around medication. When it's teamed up with therapy, it can really help balance out your emotions. It's the only way I really got out of what I was stuck in was medication and therapy at the time. And don't be afraid to talk to your friends and family. Just say, I'm not okay. You don't need to tell them everything that's going on, but just letting people know that I'm not okay. When you have the right network of people around you, they're not going to harass you every day, because that's the worst part is, are you okay? Are you okay? That's quite, just shut up, I'm okay. But it's that they will know how to handle it. It's like, they will say, okay, thank you for telling me, but what can I do for you? How do you want me to be here for you? That's the most important part on the other end of things when someone does come to you as well. So just talk is the best thing. And if you need medication, don't be ashamed to go on it. Find your therapist that works for you and get a really strong support network of friends and family. It doesn't have to be everyone. It's just you find your people, Yeah. That's what I did.
Love that.
People. My people.
So when you say your people, is that like people from Pole or
Yeah, absolutely. So I find that the friendship circle that I have now as the older you get, you know who are your people, and you know, you've got friends, but your people are your people. They're the people that you can go to with anything. You don't need to speak to them every day. You don't even need to speak to them every month. But when you reconnect, it's like there's no time passed. So I've got, you know, my great group of friends from Pole, students and teachers. I've got my best friends. I've got my sister. So they're my support network, and they're my people. My people.
Yeah.
Feelings.
Well, I guess like to lighten back the mood.
Yes.
Like let's talk about pole then.
Yeah.
Like everything and anything
That was deep,
pole
man.
related.
That was deep.
No, it really was.
Feelings, guys.
So, pole.
Yeah.
How did you find pole initially?
Oh, so I found pole because one of the girls at my old job used to do it, and then a friend and I was like, maybe we should try it. So it was just something different from gym, the typical, I don't want to go to the gym, I want to, you know, do something else whilst getting fit. So we went and did our first pole class at Susie Q before it became Sydney Pole. And I remember my teacher, Charlie, she was just this hot mum. She was just so much like confidence, and you're like, I need that. It was amazing, just strutting her stuff in her heels. I'm like, yes. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and it just kind of stuck. I had breaks in between, you know, you get injured or life gets busy, but that was where I first started my first pole term.
Oh wow.
Beginner Susie Q.
That's Susie Q.
Yeah.
Shout out to Susie Q. She is amazing.
Yeah, back in the days, it's so long ago now, it feels it.
So you said you started pole 5 years ago?
5 years ago now, yeah. 5 or 6 now it might be coming up to. Time's just going so fast.
I
know. So yeah, 5 or 6 years ago, and then had some breaks, and then traveled to a few different studios. It wasn't until I was at Bobby's Gold.
Oh,
rest in peace, Bobby.
Were you at
We
Bobby's
love
Gold?
you. Yes, I was.
Wow.
The first time I walked in, I met Bobby, and I was just so like, oh my gosh, it's the Bobby. A lot of people still feel that way. She was absolutely incredible. She really paved the way for pole. So it wasn't until I started there that I really started to get into dancing and harder tricks, and really enjoying the sexier side of pole. So when I first started, I know it's very shameful to say, but I was one of those very uneducated people. I am not a stripper. I would never dance sexy. I'm doing pole just for fitness, which is fine, but going to Bobby's really opened up my eyes to a whole new world, and that's where the confidence started to come in. I wasn't scared of being sexy and just owning myself. You know, this is me. I'm cool with that. Whereas before, it's like, no. And I feel like it more so came down to other people's opinions. That I was worried about. Not so much with myself, it was everyone else. Oh, so you're a stripper now. There's nothing wrong with that. Strippers paved the way for pole as well. Like, you know, pole can be whatever you want it to be. And I hate that I was that person, but I'm so glad that, you know, I went to a studio that was just so, you see them and they're just so sexy and slinky, and like, they've got these badass choreos. And that really started to open up, you know, my pole journey and where I am now. My hoe. My hoe ass self.
So since we're talking about being a hoe ass self, and I'm very well aware that you have 3 signature styles.
Yes.
Tell me about that, and like, how did that come about?
So my 3 signature styles, and plug right there. So there's my fierce flow, my sexy flow, and my feels and heels. So when I first started pole, I was more into the contemporary, slower, lyrical side of. I know, right? What? Who is that? I didn't have heels. I no heels, nothing.
Oh, wow.
Wouldn't wear anything sexy. So I was really into that soft, flowy side. And then it wasn't until I actually stopped taking anyone's dance classes, because I used to take a lot of dance classes, and it wasn't until I stopped doing that where I actually started to find my own style. I found that you do get heavily influenced by the classes that you attend, and I really just needed to take a step back, because I'm like, I don't want to be a copy of anyone else. I want to be myself. They're the originals, you know, they smash at what they do, but I need to find me. So once I started that, I then really started to find my own flow. So I've got my slower, sexiest style, and then I've got my fierce, very tiring style.
Yeah, I hear all about it from all your students.
Wait, you can't breathe. But, so the Feels and Heels is a crossover between those styles, where it's my slow, more contemporary style, but with heels on, because that's what I love, or boots, because my ankles. So yeah, my Feels and Heels is a crossover between that slow, sexy, but lyrical contemporary style pole. My sexy flow is just slow and sexy, slinky, you know, nice sultry. And then my fierce flow is just badass, you know, ho-kori. Just badass ho-kori.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think my favorite out of like all three, out of yours, I think would be like the fierce flow.
Yeah, it's so different. A lot of people have said that to me. It is so different to what so many others do now. It is my own style. It's just that fierceness that comes through, that real sassy.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like it's like such a like pure reflection of like you as a person. And I love that. I love that. It's just like so sassy and like fierce and just like so badass.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Like, that bitch vibes. Like, come through. Yeah.
It's when I really just let loose. If I listen to a song, because usually I do my choreo in the car.
Oh my God, no. Do you do that too? I do it too. Okay.
It's so embarrassing.
You know,
like,
thank God you
like,
said that.
And there's like a car next to you, and they're like, is she okay? Is she having a seizure? No, I'm not. I'm going, or I'll be like, at the traffic lights, and I'm like, yes. And here, and my head here.
Oh my God.
There's cars next to you, and they're like, oh.
Thank God you said that, because
Right?
I didn't know that anyone else does that.
Yeah, no, the car is where all my choreo is done in my head. A few like movements will come out, but once I'm in the studio, it will then all come out. But the place that I choreo is in my car whilst driving. Like, it's just, that's where the magic actually happens. My car.
That's so, I've actually never heard of anyone say that before.
No, they're usually like in the shower, or they need to be like in the studio, but no, I have to be in my car. It wasn't, so when quarantine was happening, I just struggled to create any choreo. I couldn't do it at home. It wasn't my creative space. It wasn't, and obviously we weren't driving anywhere. So driving is where I do my choreography. It like comes through my head. I listen to a song. I'm like, yeah. But we weren't driving anywhere. So every time I would drive to the shops, literally the 5-minute drive, I'm like, oh yes, choreo. But
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, in 5 minutes I'd get like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but it wasn't enough. So when we were actually able to drive, my inspiration started to come back again. It was taken away, okay?
Oh wow.
If I ever lose my license, I will have to go sit in my car, put the music on and just sit in my garage in the car. Let's hope that never happens, but that's what
Yeah, I was literally picturing you like just driving around the block like the whole entire quarantine. Like, what is this chick doing? She's like literally
Just,
like going around the block.
It's how my choreo comes. Like, I don't know. Some people have their creative space. Mine is just in my car.
I love that.
I know, but it's so embarrassing. But everyone has their creative space. Mine's my car, and then I can go into the studio, and then the rest will flow. It's like the starting point will always be in my car, and then when I get into a studio, it'll flow from there. So, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Well, I'm actually glad I'm not the only one too. I thought I was the only one.
No, team car choreo. Yeah, what up?
Oh God. So I think like when we talk about like style and stuff, one of the things that a lot of people struggle, as you said, is like coming up with your own style. Like, I think it's not an easy process, and also kind of like, as you said, when you keep on going to someone's dance class, which is obviously not a bad thing at all. Initially, if you're starting, you have to go to classes or else where are you going to learn, right? Where are you going to learn how to dance? But I think once you get your own style, you kind of want to be able to branch off. But like, what would you say to those people that are getting to the point of looking for their own unique style?
Yeah. I actually get asked this quite a lot, especially when I do like the Q&As on Insta. Everyone asks, how do you choreo? How did you find your style? And I think for me, my personal journey is I've always had rhythm. I've always had flow. That does make it easier. It is harder for people who just don't have that rhythm. It takes time to get there, so don't worry. But for me personally, it was stopping dance classes. However, with that being said, that was a drastic change for me. Not everyone needs to go down that path. You want to still go and support, your teachers and still go to those dance classes. It's, they're living and they love being able to share. They create just for you. So for my personal journey, it was, I did have to stop taking people's dance classes and freestyle more. So just put on a song, go to studio times and practice times, or go to my studio, because I sometimes forget I have my own. So it's, being able to just put music on and just letting myself move. And the first time I was doing that, it was very awkward. I ended up just doing the same stuff that everyone else was doing because that's all I knew. But the more I continued to do it, the more freestyle I did, putting on different kinds of music and moving to it. I found my movement patterns, I found my flow, and that's how I became the dancer I am today, was allowing myself to just, express freely through freestyle without needing structure of choreo. That's really helped with my flow. And it was trying all different styles. I think that's super important, because when you just stick to that one style, I love this style, that's all I'm doing, that's all you'll ever have. Whereas I found by starting off with contemporary style pole, my flow is so much better. And then going into the fierce stuff, there's a crossover. You'll watch my choreo. There's crossover between the two. So try all different styles to start off with. Don't just stick to, this is just what I want to do. Try all different styles, different teachers, then freestyle. Just freestyle. As awkward as it may feel, freestyle, record it, watch it back, freestyle again, different music, different styles. Find that flow, because the one thing that I do notice when people are starting to choreo for themselves or do their first choreography is that they're doing movements that aren't theirs, and it shows because they're very stiff and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to put this next because I know how to do it. But that flow isn't there. For you to get that flow, which is why all my choreos like sexy flow, fierce flow, you need to just get your own movement patterns and let your body move to music. Because if you're just like, I'm going to put a diamond turn next, I know how to do it, or I'm going to, do a Kate Moss or whatever trick it is, or whatever floor sequence, a body roll, head roll, you need to make it your own. And you're not going to do that if you just, I saw this on Instagram, I'm going to put it in there.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just going to copy, because that flow won't be there. You'll see it. It comes across in that movement. You've probably seen videos yourself where you're like, yeah, that's like, you can tell. And it's not a bad thing, because that's how we all learn. But you really need to take that step back and just flow yourself, not I'm going to copy, because it shows.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I just had an idea, because you said find your flow.
Oh, is this another signature move?
Yeah. What? Yeah. I was like,
we're dancing.
Yeah. Find your flow.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Is this happening?
New class?
Yeah, new class.
Soon.
Find your flow. It's hard, but yeah. No, find your flow. That's sick.
It sounds pretty cool.
I'll be like, what do I teach? And just put on a song of freestyle. There you go.
But I think it is important, like, kind of like just putting yourself like back, like, and then really trying to look for your style, and like just kind of branching out to like different styles first, and then kind of being like, okay, I'm good at this. I'm just going to stick to this and maybe cross over a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Because like at the end of the day, dance isn't like about structure.
No.
It really is about like kind of integrating what you're good at and like finding this end product that's just like so unique.
Yeah, and it's so you.
Yeah.
It's just who you are, and that will come through. And that's the thing, like I've got 3 different styles. My signature 3 styles, but Fierce Flow is obviously number 1 out of all of those that people absolutely love because it is so unique. The other styles is crossovers between, you know, everyone's different styles, but it's that Fierce Flow that is so unique that not many people, you know, choreograph that way.
Yeah, totally. And I think also uniqueness comes from like your individual self as a person as well. Like you have to be true to your style and yourself, or else like it's like it shows.
It absolutely shows.
Yeah, like your personality comes through in any creative work you do.
Yeah,
which is so interesting, and I find it like that's what makes your actual artwork so unique as well.
But it's just coming through.
Yeah, that
my fierce like bad bitch. That's what I'm all about. Okay, touch yourself. I support this.
Oh my god, I'm dead
on camera. Touch yourself, guys. It's my style. Just okay. Don't touch yourself like that. That's just
being me. That's my unique style.
She doesn't choreo like that. I promise. Oh yeah.
Imagine that. Like I'm just like I start like
like doing great, sweetie.
Oh, she's an instructor just for fitness.
Yeah. She does sit choreo. Everyone loves it. Promise.
Oh god. So like tell me more about like your upcoming businesses now then, because since you're a Just For owner, you've also got your styling business.
Yes.
So maybe actually, since some people might not know and some people might be tuning in from overseas, which is really exciting, Just For Fitness is a studio out in the western suburbs of Sydney, Australia, and you also have a styling business, which is...
So it's Luxe Styling, previously known as the Pole Clique. So I purchased the Pole Clique of Clique Styling, so it was a branch from that where it was about pole photo shoots, but now it's time for a rebrand and just making it my own, turning into what it's going to be. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing, but basically we style photo shoots and just take your shoot to the next level and just make you feel like a boss babe. Like you put on those outfits and like, yes.
Your styling is amazing.
Thank you so much. I absolutely love it because you get people that have never done shoots before that are so nervous, but once you get that outfit on, they're like, yes, they feel themselves, and that's what I love to see. There's like this next level of confidence. A boss ass outfit can change everything, you know? It's just like when you wear your sexy underwear, it changes everything.
Yeah. Although people don't see it, you feel it.
Yeah, it's literally that confidence that comes through. So yeah, I've got my pole studio in Smithfield, definitely going to be expanding that out. I'm super excited for that. It is in the works. And then we have Luxe Styling, and then the pole wear range under Tatiana Active that I collab with. So Tatiana Active is another one of my teachers. She is incredible, and we have like a collaboration under her brand because I do not have time for a full pole wear range myself, and Tat is amazing at what she does. So we work together, we design our outfits, we spend months testing, you know, different body shapes, making sure everything stays in. It's a very long, yes, it's a very, very long process just because we want to make sure we're bringing quality pole wear, because there's nothing worse than when you get pole wear and it lasts a few washes or things don't stay in place. So we have to go through months of testing. We actually just relaunched our new bodies.
Yeah, congratulations. It looks so good.
Yeah, we've got a few in the works. So yeah, there's just that's my life. It's my businesses.
Very busy.
Very, very busy.
And you've got your cats as well.
And my cats, which are like children. Okay, they're very hard work, but I absolutely love them. Crazy cat lady. But yeah, so that's my businesses. That's what I do.
Very, very busy.
Very busy.
It's very hard to catch
Get
her.
me. I know.
Very hard.
I know.
She's very busy with her private.
Yes. My privates
classes.
and teaching on top of that. But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. They all go hand in hand. Very busy, but I just get to connect with so many different people, and that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah,
like,
totally. And, you know, we
else.
get to talk about, like, about your business. We get to talk about your pole, mental health.
There's nothing else, guys. It's just my businesses. That's my life. There's nothing else. What
That's
do you
not
do
true.
outside of work?
That's not true. She's
eat.
a very busy lady, and
Very
she loves her
busy.
snacks.
Yes, come to my house. I'll feed you. When Chloe first joined, I got her on board with the snacks. She got a snacks bag.
She's literally the sweetest. So like, I recently started teaching at Just Pole Fitness thanks to Cheyenne and Yoongi as well.
Yes.
Shout out to Yoongi. She was a very busy woman during COVID.
Yes.
But then
She's pregnant.
yeah, congratulations to her. So it was like a most random call. Like I got a call the night before saying like, "Oh, can you cover my classes?" And I'm like, "Wait, you want me to cover like? Wait, when is this? Is it like in like a few weeks or like?" And then she goes tomorrow, and I'm like,
Yeah. She was just as surprised about her pregnancy, which is why there was a last minute call.
"Yeah."
Very happy about it, but very surprised. She's like, oh.
So then when I came into the studio, she gave me like this really cute like bag full of snacks. Like she gave me like a lifesaver as well.
Yeah, lifesavers because she saved our life.
And like it was like the best snack pack like ever. Like that dry strawberry, freeze-dried strawberries.
Yes.
They're like
so
amazing.
good.
I got hooked onto them.
Right.
I bought like a huge bag
I
from
know,
Costco.
and then you started trying other freeze-dried things, and I'm like, no, too far.
Yeah, I
freeze-dried
did.
mushrooms or something, and I'm
Yeah. I tried the veggie chips, mushrooms, and I love the freeze-dried strawberries.
yeah, the mango. If you've not had the mango, amazing. Oh, so good.
Now that we talk
I am
about
snack.
snacks.
Yeah, I know. I am snacks.
Should we? Should we?
Health snacks over here. We need to like put a photo in of my snacks. People be like, oh god, how am I not fat?
Well, maybe we should like show them like our Aussie snacks.
Oh, we need to do snacks videos, Aussie snacks videos. Although we get our influences from everywhere else. What do we have? What do we have? Tim Tams.
Not much.
Lamingtons. Lamingtons even.
I think it's Aussie.
They're Aussie. Vegemite. Curly Whirlies. Don't tell me you don't like Vegemite.
I think I've only tried it once when I just came.
Blasphemy.
I'm not very Aussie. What's that one? Like Maltesers? Is that
Maltesers? Yeah.
Is that Aussie?
Yes, but so many other countries have like their own version of like the malt balls.
Okay.
Maltesers are basically malt balls covered in chocolate.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few. I forgot the name of them, but America has like a bigger version of them. They're like massive Whoppers. I think that's what they're called in America. Whoppers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Sounds like a burger.
Yeah, because our burger's Hungry Jack's.
Yeah.
The Whopper.
The Whopper burgers.
Yeah.
Is that Aussie?
Yeah. It's the equivalent to what's the American?
In-N-Out.
Is it In-N-Out? There might be another one.
Burger King.
Burger King, that's it. Yeah. It's the equivalent to Burger King. So we don't have a lot of like Aussie snacks. It's
not
influenced.
really.
Violet Crumble, that's Aussie.
I don't know what that is.
Get out. Oh, Buffalo Bill.
Well,
that's Aussie.
Huh? What? Oh my god. Okay.
We're doing an Aussie snacks video.
Yeah, I think we should.
We're gonna do it.
Well, I'm not Aussie, so
Yeah, well, how long have you been here though?
9 years?
Yeah, 9 years is long. You just haven't had enough Aussie friends influence you.
No.
Yeah,
No, I haven't.
No.
Well,
I got you, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll bring all the Aussie snacks. They're a bit boring, but it's
so,
alright.
which one should we do?
We will go.
Whatever. I kind of want to try this one.
Okay.
Hemp corn
I
chips.
haven't tried these either. All of these I have tried. Your health food snacks.
Kinda. That's one like no MSG, no gluten.
We're doing another snacks video. We're doing it. We'll be lit.
I want to try this one.
Yeah.
Feta and garlic.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Or you can try any of them. You can open one.
No, I've had all these. I'm going to try these.
Okay.
Snack train. I've had all of them.
Oh.
I'm coming in first. Let's see. It sounds like corn chips. Is it corn chip?
Yeah, corn chip. Hemp corn chips. Feta and garlic.
They're so good.
Health snacks aren't that bad.
Aussie health snacks are really good.
Yeah. And like my best girlfriend, like she loves like fatty food. And she always gives me shit for like...
She's a vibe. I'm going to be her best friend. Move over, Chloe, to my best friend now.
Rude.
It'll be us going on snack. You can have your like lettuce or something.
Oh my god. No, I love my fatty food, but it's just like...
Healthy balance, moderation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had chocolate for breakfast, so don't judge
Fuck.
me.
That's intense.
It's because I work out so much, so I don't recommend it, but it's because I work out so much.
Well, it's always like input versus output, right? If your output is a lot, your input has to be a lot as well. You can't just
so chocolate for breakfast is absolutely fine.
As long as your input, your output is good.
Health tips from Cheyenne.
Just eat chocolate if you want to look this fit.
And work out a lot.
Yeah. Well, like you do work out a lot.
I'm doing my groceries after this. I'm getting these. I actually like
You
them.
heard that?
Yeah.
See, it ain't that bad.
It
ain't that bad.
It's good. It's like, I don't really taste better though. Do you taste better? Do you?
I do. It's like that first bite.
I was wondering what that was. It's like when you first put it in your mouth. Cheese.
It's like cheese. You know that like first flavor? It's really cheesy.
It's like a tangy cheese.
Yeah.
You know how some fetas have that like bit of tang in there? That's what that is.
Yum.
Do you like ASMR?
I'm gonna try.
I hate listening to people chew.
But like I like that crispy sound, but not the like chomp.
When it becomes wet.
Yeah. That's nasty. That's so nasty.
I can't watch those videos where they and they're like licking their fingers. Ooh, no, I just can't.
Me neither.
Crunch is fine though. But yeah.
I like looking at that flat lay of like a bunch of food, and it's so satisfying.
Those people who have like those 10,000 calorie meals, how?
Literally.
I eat a lot, but in one sitting they must have to space it out because that's like
I can't.
they would struggle to go to the toilet. Because it's such a heavy, like it's so much carbs. Like that's too much. No.
I can't even fit it into my stomach.
That's 10,000. No. They not eat for a week. Like I don't understand. And it's always skinny people.
Literally.
Skinny, fit people.
It's like the metabolism is just like
so fast.
intense.
But yeah.
Let's talk about like stereotypes of pole. Just like maybe like briefly. Because I feel like there's a huge stereotype around pole dancing and like, you know, stripping and, you know, all that culture.
Yeah.
But obviously now, well, at least in Australia, I think that we've come a very, very long way.
Absolutely, yep.
And, you know, pole sport is about to become an Olympic sport as well, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about that.
Well, where to begin? Yeah, like I said earlier, when I first started, I was one of those people who was like, I don't want to be seen as a stripper. I was worried about that. I think the more educated you become and the more respectful of the industry. A lot of pole tricks did come from stripping. They did pave the way, and especially in Australia, because the first studios were owned by strippers. And it's being respectful and mindful of that. I think the worst thing that happened in the pole industry was the hashtag that went around, hashtag not a stripper. Do you remember that going around?
Wait, how long ago was this?
It was a couple of years now, where people, it was so horrible, because what was happening on social media was everyone was uploading videos and saying hashtag not a stripper. It was just very disrespectful to, you know, strippers in that industry and our industry, because again, they helped pave the way. The thing that people need to understand is pole can be whatever you want it to be. So you don't need to say things like, I'm not a stripper. And when that happened, it was so horrible. I really felt for strippers who were like, dude, you're doing moves that, you know, we kind of started with. That's why you're doing them. Yeah. But I think the hardest thing for me coming into pole was that stigma and that mindset where I didn't want people to think that's what I was doing. Like, it's shameful, like it's disrespectful. It's not. Do what you want. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. It's not shameful. Yeah, with the stereotypes, they're obviously still around with the older generation. I'm finding newer generations are obviously more educated. You know, they're a lot more accepting. They're a lot more understanding. Like before, you know, back in the days, they didn't want to be seen as pole is just sport, you know. But again, like I always say, pole is whatever you want it to be. You want to do your sexy style, you do your sexy style. You want to just do contemporary or lyrical, you just do that. You just want to do tricks and you don't want to dance. That's fine. That's a good thing about pole, is that, again, it's whatever you want it to be. You know, I think the hardest thing in the industry is, as females, we want to be able to express ourselves. And men... You can dance on my pole.
Oh God. Oh God.
You know, they're still just, you know, kind of stopping females from feeling comfortable with genuinely expressing themselves because of the way some of them respond. A lot of my friends now, I've educated, you know, a lot of them, and they're more accepting, and the way they, like, you know, talk to pole dancers now is so different. Whereas before, oh, you're a pole dancer. Now I always find I actually don't get that response myself. It's more, you must have a lot of strength. I get that a lot more now. Instead of, you know, a few years ago it was, you know, oh, that's a my pole, or like, oh, so you're a stripper. You must teach girls to strip. And I'm like, no, there's nothing wrong with that in the first place. Why are you saying it like it's a negative thing? It isn't. But no. Yeah. I don't. Shout out to them because they earn more money than I do. Thanks, girls. But yeah, it's the responses have really changed, where it's, oh, you just must have a lot of upper body and core strength. We do cool shit. So yep. Now like, what? Yeah, now what? I'll throw you. So, yeah, get out. So yeah, it's the stigma around pole is changing, especially in Australia. You know, people are feeling more comfortable with expressing themselves how they want. And when people have a, you know, different opinion, they're like, F off. Who are you? Yeah, literally. What is your opinion to me? Like, who the hell are you, kind of thing. You know, I know that for myself, we've got students that still hide it from their parents, which is completely understandable because old school, you know, parents, they're like, what? I know when I first told my sister and my family, they're like, what are you doing? Pole dancing in a club? What are you doing? I'm like, no. And then once they saw videos, like, oh, not that I'd show them videos, my sister gets exposed to it, but my videos now with my fierce flow and sexy flow, they don't even see that. But yeah, you know, it's just hiding it from that older generation, which is understandable. But yeah, I feel like stigma-wise, it has changed quite a lot, but it's still some negativity there. Yeah. Well, I hope to kind of just like, you know, using this platform as well to be able to, you know, show people that pole dancing is,
you know, as you said, what you want it to be.
Yeah, you want to dance sexy, you got it. You want that slower style, you got it. You want cool tricks, you got it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This platform is really going to show that to a lot of people, that it is whatever you want it to be. And you'll start to express, like, you know, our audience will start to express themselves more. When you stop caring about everyone else's opinion and just like, I'm doing what I want to do, that's when you'll really find your style and really fall in love with pole tenfold. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
we've got like
things.
Luna dances to rock style, you know, like if you want to dance to heavy metal, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Like it's really anything you want it to be.
Yeah, she's so badass.
Bang, heel clack.
She's so like,
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So I think that we should wrap up our little Polecast show.
Hope you enjoyed listening to us talk and eat.
Literally talk shit, talk about, you know, Cheyenne's upbringing and her business and everything pole.
Yeah, it's been a good insight for a lot of people, you know, who have been in the same position.
Yeah.
You know, I started from nothing. It can be whatever you want to be.
No, 100%.
Motivational speech. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like really resonate to your story.
Absolutely. I get told all the time, and they're very thankful that I'm sharing it because I'm very open about it. I think it, again, like I always say, it's very important to talk about it. So don't let your circumstances kind of, you know, change your direction that you want to go in. Just do what you want to do, and you'll get there. You know, from nothing to 3-4 businesses now.
Amazing.
We got this, boss bitches. What up?
Yes.
Well, thank you.
I'm like, no, because you got your ring.
I know you.
That's why I'm like, I don't want to like hurt myself.
I should have put it on the other hand. Sorry. It's like a rock coming out. Aggressive. But thank you for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
No, of course. Anytime.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, it's so fun talking to you and like getting to know you as well.
Feelings.
Yeah. Feels. So, in terms of like where my people watching right now or listening in can find you, where can they find you?
So I've got my personal pole page, which has all my videos at Cheyenne_pole dancer. So CHEYENNE _pole dancer on Instagram. I also have my own Facebook page that also has, it's a private group that also has all my choreography, special releases and things like that. Hashtag Fierce Flow with Cheyenne. And then my pole studio is Just Pole Fitness. Then my styling business is Lux _styling. And then Tatiana Active, you can follow there because, you know, as it's a collab brand, but she's got amazing 2-piece sets, tops, bottoms, anything you need. She's got new stuff coming out. And then we also have the Cheyenne X Tatiana range under Tatiana Active. So I think that's all the same. Woo! That's all.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Boss babe. Shout out to Just Pole Fitness girls as well.
Hi, baby. Thanks for making my dreams come true. Love you.
Oh,
shout out.
Oh, that's
Feels.
so sweet.
My baby.
Thanks again for
You're
listening,
welcome.
and thanks for coming.
Anytime.
And
see you again.
We'll speak to you soon.
Bye. Let's just wave at ourselves. Like,